Go ahead and call Gray County Commissioners Court agenda to order, regular meeting Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, 10 a.m. Commissioners Courtroom, the third floor of the courthouse at 101 East Smithman Street in Longview, Texas. Please stand for prayer. Remain standing for the pledge. Commissioner McKinney will lead us.
Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, we come to you today with humbled hearts, bowed heads, to ask you for our forgiveness of our many sins that we commit. This week you woke us up to realize how big this universe is and how great you are. The majestic of the skies and things we don't even recognize. It's unbelievable that you could send your Son to this earth, that we that believe in him could have everlasting life. We thank you for those things. We are so humbled at many times that we don't say thank you. Thank you for letting us open our eyes this morning. Take that first step, even though it might hurt. Take it. Also, Lord, help us that we may put a smile on our face. Thank you for those in our department that take care of us. Everyone, from the housekeepers all the way up, we're all the same. No one's better than anybody else. We thank you for all the blessings that we get, every heartbeat we get, and every child that we get to take care of. Thank you for the parking facility. It's sometimes we take it for granted. We appreciate all the things you do for us every living day, every second. Forgive us again, because we know we fail thee. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number one on the agenda is approved payroll and transfer of funds.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wingo. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Number two, approve bills payable, budget amendments, and budget transfer requests.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bostic.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Craig. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Number three, public comment. Would anyone like to come forward and make a public comment at this time? If so, please come forward and identify yourself for the record.
Your Honor, there were no speaker cards completed this morning.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Having none and seeing none, we'll move on to number four, East Texas Council of Governments. A, request approval for payment of annual membership dues for the period of January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 in the amount of $18,800.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wingo,
Second.
second by Commissioner Craig. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Five, auditor. A, request approval of budget transfer from salary lag to overtime, accrued leave, and professional fees due to workday project rollout and upcoming retirement.
I have some questions.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't see in the auditor's budget where there is a line item for overtime.
Yes, sir. So that's what we're requesting. There's no additional funding we're requesting. We're actually moving from vacancies in our office using the salary lag, and we're moving into the overtime line item. And because key staff members, we had some vacancy, and so key staff members had to put in additional hours throughout the project implementation.
So is this overtime moving from today forward, or is it,
I'm sorry?
are we moving today forward with the overtime budget, or is it something that's happened in the past?
It's in the past, and so we're watching the hours very closely, and so it's not a normal operation for the auditor's office to have overtime, and it's definitely
So how long have we been paying people overtime that hasn't been approved?
it was, we had just a couple, pay periods. It was, like 3 employees.
Okay. It's funny that this
That
is
was
on the
required.
agenda for today because I started asking questions about it last week. And today it's on the agenda, and this has been going on for 5 months. Okay? There was overtime paid in the banner system as well as the workday system. So where did the authority to make those payments come from?
So by the handbook policy that we're
No, the
required,
handbook.
yes, it does, sir. 240 hours we're required to pay overtime.
Right, you have to accrue 240 hours
Yes,
of
sir.
comp time, and then you can
Yes,
pay
sir.
overtime.
And that's exactly what happened. Yes, sir.
But the problem with it is you don't have an overtime budget. So we've been paying people overtime for 5 months with no overtime budget in your office.
I understand. That's what we're requesting.
Right, so we're making it retroactive. It's something that should have been requested 5 months ago.
You know,
I understand that people needed to be paid. I'm not arguing that fact, okay?
yes, sir.
There's proper protocol. All the rest of us are required to do it, to pay overtime. You're required to do it too.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know if you understand that.
That's what I'm requesting. Yes, yes, exactly. That's what we paid it as well.
Right, but this request should have been 5 months ago.
I understand.
Nothing else, Judge.
Okay. You-
Your Honor, if I may, a question for clarification's sake. Is this a retroactive payment for time?
No, the payment was already made to the employees. It's just it's a budget transfer over
Okay.
budget. Yes, sir. So no, payment has already been made.
Just for clarification, a county cannot pay employees retroactively, so I'm
Yeah.
just making sure it wasn't.
No,
It's
was
been
not.
paid out,
It's
but
been
there was no
paid out.
authorization to do it.
Okay,
That's the problem.
then the rest of it's yours.
Right.
Any other questions?
No, I'm just confused a little bit. Did we pay overtime without any authorization?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what she just said.
okay.
Without the line being in the
Do
budget.
what now?
Well, not the authorization, because it's in the handbook that we're required to pay, but as far as in the budget, yes, sir. So that's why I'm asking that, the transfer.
But in my slow wisdom here, what we're asking for is to okay something that's already been done, or being done, to okay it forward. Is that correct?
That's right.
That wouldn't happen for you or me.
We'd ratify it, is what it basically be. This is basically what it is. We're ratifying something that's already taken place.
So we've paid 3 people over the past 5 months, $10,587.37 in overtime. Not saying they didn't deserve to be paid, they did deserve to be paid. Without authorization from this court to allow the overtime, there's not even an overtime line item in the auditor's budget. So when I started asking questions about this last week, this week it's on the agenda. And I just find that suspicious.
I guess we're at a perplexing position because we've got to move forward and we've got to get this done.
It-
Do not agree with that?
We've done, just me, because
Yeah.
I've sent my administrative assistant and other people that are a lot more familiar with this stuff than I am. But if we vote, just asking a question, if we vote no now and turn this down, we stop the process, is that correct?
It would just be over budget in that line item. It would just be over budget in the, so it doesn't stop them from being paid.
They've already been paid.
Yeah, I understand they've already been paid. I'm talking about, I understand what's been done. It's like getting through the race and say you gotta run again. All right, but what my point of this is, if we turn this down, does it stop the flow of our process with moving forward? As far as, I guess most of this is work time.
I would
Is it-
say
So,
probably.
so it's kind of like examples, like if you had a payout of an employee who left and you don't have like accrued leave in your budget and it goes over budget as well, it's a similar, you remove money within your budget to cover that as well. And so, that's also what we're asking for as well. If we have a future retirement that, I would like to make sure we have plenty of funding in our accrued leave.
Well, I just wanna understand your question. If we don't authorize the overtime now, does the overtime stop?
That's right.
And if the overtime stops, does that impede?
And it has
the
stopped, it
rapid
has stopped
pro-
going forward,
It has
yes,
stopped.
sir, yes,
So
sir.
there won't be any more overtime.
No, sir.
So I guess we're just ratifying what's already been paid out. But there won't be any more overtime regardless.
So my problem with this whole deal is
But it wasn't in place, we
right,
hadn't
we're
authorized
condoning
overtime
the
start.
activity if we vote yes for this. That's my problem.
Say that again?
We are condoning the activity of passing something that should have been told to us 5 months ago. We're condoning that activity. That shouldn't be that way. That's what I say.
And we've been put in a situation of catch-22.
That's right.
Maybe going forward, we need to make sure all department heads and directors are put through some extensive training with HR and how to properly adhere to those statutes and get the authorization before they commit the act.
Well,
I mean, so we don't do this
she
again with
was
somebody else.
involved in the making of the new
Yeah.
book, so she
No,
knew what the.
no, sir,
she
I'm
knew
not
what
on the I'm not on the handbook policy.
You were originally,
No, sir. I'm not in the policy, handbook policy.
okay?
So, with not condoning this, obviously it was a mistake, and now we're trying to just correct it and move forward. That's where we are. And I think obviously you can't do this again. That's what we're talking about.
I truly hope we never have to work that hard again.
So, anything else, Commissioner?
No.
that you need to say? But that's where we are, and I look at it as a mistake, they acknowledge, we're trying to correct it, and it'd be a ratification, hopefully never to happen again. That's what I would say.
Well, I make a motion that we approve this request, but that, that they not do any more overtime unless they get authorization specifically for that from this court.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
So just to make this clear, we are making an overtime budget for the auditor's office now, because there has to be an overtime line item for her to put the money in to pay it out for overtime. And right now, there's not one. So that's what you're asking for, is an overtime line item in your budget.
Moving
put this
it
money-
into overtime, yes, sir.
Right. Just to make it clear.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
You amend your budget to say that?
Yes.
I'm not even sure what the motion is now. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to vote, to go forward with the ratification of
Yes.
this in creating the overtime
In the budget.
line item in the budget. Does everybody understand that? Commissioner, you good? Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll put a second.
I have a second from Commissioner McKinney. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, let's see, 5A, 6, Commissioners. A, Precinct 3, request approval of budget transfer in the amount of $245,351.42 from auction proceeds to road construction for repairs of Remington and Brown streets. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wingo,
Second.
second by Commissioner McKinney. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. 6B, request approval to include Remington and Browning streets among the roads scheduled for completion in FY '26. Funding for repair and overlay of both roads were generated from March 2026 auction. Project planning report is provided. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wingo,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gray. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. 7, County Judge A, request approval for interlocal agreement between Gregg County and Longview Independent School District, LISD. The county will provide labor, materials, and equipment use on LISD property related to a potential land purchase. Council, is this where we acknowledge the,
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
The correction.
Yep. So in the packet, you've got the interlocal agreement between the school and the county, and there's 2 areas where there's a typo. It's in the front page where it says, whereas the county is agreeable to provide 194 cubic yards, that needs to be changed to 10 cubic yards of asphalt. That's one place in the very front page. And
Your
then-
Honor, I think it says 8,194 cubic yards.
Well, I was trying to ignore that 8.
Oh, okay.
Because it's bad enough at 194, much less 10.
Okay,
It was wrong.
okay.
And the second place was on the back page on 3, that same Miss 8,194 being replaced with a 10 cubic yards of asphalt, labor, and equipment at no cost. Those are the 2 changes in this agreement that need to be made. That was from a clerical error.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay? Very good. Anything else, Commissioners? there a motion to approve?
With the changes, I make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney,
Second.
second by Commissioner Wingo. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. 7, County Judge B, consider approval of land purchase and associated fees and costs between Grady County and Longview Independent School District as outlined in the proposed deed and approved interlocal agreement authorizing county judge to execute all necessary documentation related to the closings of the properties. Any questions, comments, or anything?
Any questions, I'd be glad to handle it.
If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bostic. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. 6, request approval to adopt an order authorizing discretionary exemption under section 262.024, paragraph A6 regarding the purchase of land and authorize county judge to execute all necessary documentation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bostic. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. Okay, just want to see there's some smiles over here. Okay, 8, East Texas Regional Airport, discussion, any necessary action to approve the certificate of substantial completion for rotated beacon project.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning,
Morning.
Commissioners. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have about it and just hope that you approve it.
Any questions from Bradley? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Craig,
Second.
second by Wingo, second by Commissioner Wingo. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. 8, East Texas Regional Airport B, request budget transfer from supplies and order expenses to uniform allowance in the amount of $750 due to employee turnover.
Again, just here to answer any questions you may have, and of course, it won't increase the overall budget.
Okay, any questions from the court? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bostic,
Second.
second by Commissioner Craig. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
9, purchasing discuss and consider awarding Grady County RFQ 2026-08, professional design services for the new agricultural extension facility.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
So on February 24th of 2026, the Commissioners Court approved soliciting qualifications for design services for the new agriculture extension facility. 5 responses were received on March 17th and evaluated based on qualifications and experience under the state law. KSA Engineers was selected as the most qualified. Approval is recommended for the award RFQ 2026-08 to KSA Engineers and authorize county judge to execute all necessary documents. Be happy to answer any questions and ask that this be approved.
Any questions from the court? Any questions? Any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bostic. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. 9, purchasing B, consider approval of the disposition of miscellaneous county items, equipment pursuant to section 263.152 of Texas Local Government Code.
This is a routine request that helps the county stay on top of cleaning up and clearing out surplus materials across the county. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions from the court? If not,
Only one.
Yes, sir.
When, do you know when we're gonna have the next one?
I do not have that information, but I can get back with you.
All right, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
I make the motion.
motion by Commissioner McKinney,
Second.
second by Commissioner Wingo. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
10, Sheriff A, consider approval of budget transfer from jail operations, group health insurance to jail operations overtime in the amount of $150,000 to cover overtime costs in jail operations. Sheriff?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Well, related to our overtime, it is a normal request. Unfortunately, our challenges persist. And just to give you some background, we currently have 18 open positions today. Those are 12 jailers, 2 jail nurses, and 4 deputies, for a total of 18. We currently have 2 inmates in the hospital, and we sent 6 over the weekend. So that's just the brief scenario this morning. Our jail count stands at 715. So with that, I'll answer any questions you have and ask that it be approved.
What's the jail's total capacity?
916, we currently have 40 beds offline due to staffing or the lack thereof.
715 is a little higher number than we've had in the past, is it not?
We've been running between 650 and 700, but over the last month or so, we've increased above 7 and hadn't got back under it. We currently have 81 federal inmates, U.S. Marshal inmates that are paying, and we have 41 Nacogdoches County inmates that are contract inmates. So we have 122 paying today.
But federal's the difference.
Sir?
Federal is what's made the difference in terms of that total. Okay.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
You know I've talked to you about this. Whose brilliant idea was it to increase the qualifications when the whole state is short on jailers? And went from 2 weeks to 3 weeks training.
You're talking about the jail school training.
Yes.
Well, that's rules and regs that were passed by the legislature and pushed down to the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement and the Texas Commission on Jail Standards. Those are the ones that require that of our staff.
And that passed or increased when? How recently?
We've been doing 3 weeks for probably 4 years, Commissioner.
Because the last time we had one, it was 2 weeks. Now we're up to sending our name.
Trust me,
And we lose him now for 3 weeks of work.
120 hours of
And a
training.
psycho test.
And then you have to pass,
and
you
that
have to
book
pass,
he had to fill out.
you have to pass the academy, you have to pass the state test. Also, the book he had to fill out is also required by the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Did they have any idea that the whole state of Texas is short on jailers?
I would refer that question to them, but obviously by our conversations here, Commissioner, and by all the media attention that's been out there, everyone knows that not only are we short on jailers, but we're short on deputies as well, or police officers. And unfortunately, as we've talked before, it has to do with there's only one pond.
That's right.
And we're all fishing from the same pond. There's only so many people that are out there that have training or meet the minimum requirements to receive the training.
And so when we give you and give y'all a raise, then the next person next to you with the fishing pole says, hey, Gregg County just gave a raise, we gotta give ours. And sooner or later, everybody with a fishing pole, it comes back, and then Maxie Sariano comes to Gregg County and said, we've gotta give them more raises or we lose them.
You're exactly correct.
Y'all got something going.
Well, you know, Commissioner, I came to you a couple of months ago and I told you we were down to 8. And now we're at 18.
I need to get the commissioners to start that.
I understand.
So we can go to the judge for raises and stuff.
And you know, I understand the cycle.
No, I really do.
But I don't have the answer. I'm the guy caught up in it.
I know you are. It's crazy.
And, you know, field-wise, courthouse security-wise, we're not mandated to numbers. That's not the way it is in the jail. We're required to have staffing levels in the jail, so you and I can't control that. The other place that we're required to have staffing is the airport for commercial flights. We're required to have X number of staff there, not only as law enforcement officers, but as ARF for a response. So you and I don't get to dictate that. It's either dictated by the state or by the feds.
I knew me and you had talked about it. I just wanted to bring it up in case anybody in newspaper or audience or someone kept wondering why you keep coming back asking, and it is. We're all fishing out of the same pond. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you bring up a good point, Commissioner, and I'm glad the media is here. Is anybody here from the newspaper? No, I guess not. Bottom line is, the more the media can put out to the public of what the legislature's doing,
Exactly right.
the more that we may get some kind of relief, which I doubt.
Yeah.
I've been going to Austin 4 or 5 times a year for the last 9 years, and it's my prediction it's gonna get worse. Because, as the commissioner just said, those legislators have never worked in a jail, have never been part of the county
That's right.
government, so they don't understand anything about what they pass, which is just, it's the same story, different verse,
Yes.
about a lot of different issues.
And
Get all
gentlemen,
that down?
and gentlemen, it costs a lot of taxpayer money to run the jail.
Yes, it does.
It costs a lot, and I'm gonna tell you, as it stands right now, this has been a bad year for us health-wise. We had 4 EMS transports last week to the hospital. So it's not getting better. Y'all all know the contract that we have with Christus for inmate health care. The first X number of dollars is waived. Normally, it runs through May, maybe June. We've run through the end of March, and we've already shot that budget. So now we're back over into taxpayer money, and it's gonna be worse this year than the costs were last year.
Not only it's 500,000, the Christus,
No, it's about 145,000 at the indigent rate, Judge. We paid them about 500,000 last year. And we're in a better position than what many of our friends
Yeah, you are.
are. And if you talk to your fellow commissioners, they don't have a health department. They don't have the contract that we have with Christus based on the lease agreement, and they're just having to pay all the cost. So, but I wish I could paint you a rosy picture, but, you know, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell you what some of the future challenges are gonna be, and, you know, we're just gonna have to figure out a way to face them and deal with them. And it has to do with staffing, and it has to do with medical, and neither of those gentlemen are inexpensive.
okay, on that cheery note, is, anything else Sheriff, anything else?
No, unless there's any other questions, Your Honor.
Questions from the court? If not, is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney,
Second.
second by Commissioner Wingo. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. 10, Sheriff A, consider approve a budget transfer from jail operations, group health insurance to jail operations, accrued leave in the amount of $44,000 to cover accrued leave costs of retiring employees from jail operations.
So, gentlemen, we've actually had 2 employees retire. One was a jail lieutenant on the command staff. The other was a longtime nurse, jailer. So we overdrew that line item in the budget, and I'm just asking for the transfer so that we can cover all the costs associated with those retirements.
Any questions from the court? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wingo. Second. Second by Commissioner Craig. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. C, consider approval of appointment of ADA Morgan Armstrong as the Gregg County District Attorney's Office representative to the Sexual Assault Response Team, START, filling the vacancy created by Taylor Pryor. Additionally, consider approval to appoint Lieutenant Jonathan Pryor as a member of the START as a presiding member from the Gregg County Sheriff's Office.
So, gentlemen, we lost Taylor to Harrison County. As you'll remember, earlier this year, y'all voted to agree to combine the SARTs because we work together, we use the same resources. So I would just ask that both of these individuals be approved to be on the SART team and answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the sheriff, for the sheriff? Not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner McKinney,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bostic. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, gentlemen.
11, Tax Assessor Collector. A, consider approval of a waiver of penalties and interest for the 2024 and 2025 tax bill of account number 35605 totaling $261.11. Ms. Terry.
Hi, Sheriff.
Good morning. This is a mistake from the Appraisal District's office as far as the ownership and the address of this property. And he's requesting a waiver of the penalties because he did not receive the bill, because the bill went to the affiant instead of the owner. I don't know if you saw the included paperwork, but that's what happened. The appraisal district read the affidavit wrong and put the affiant's address on the bill instead of the new owner.
Has everybody got a copy of what the taxpayer wrote about? Okay. Any questions from the court? If not, is there a motion to approve the recommendation?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wingo,
Second?
second by Commissioner Bostic. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 12, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bostic. I'll
Second.
Second by Commissioner McKinney. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.